All right, so here's part 4 update. Probably one of the last updates before actual LS Fest. For those who don't know, I'm actually going to LS Fest East, showing the car off. It's where we'll be unveiling it. More than likely going to try and start it as well, because I got more parts that showed up. But this is the update. We've got working on the turbo kit. The engine's in. We've got rails that go through from the front of the frame to the back of the frame over here. And then as well, it's also, we've got it going from that same tube over here to the frame over here. There. And those are bolted in. And the reason we've done this is not only to help support the frame and the rails, is to help if I ever need to remove it, I could easily unbolt this and unbolt the one over here as well, and it could easily come right out if I ever need to drop the subframe. And it also helps support the frame rails, as I said. So we did make a few changes. So the steering rack, I had an issue with it. Let me get up in here. As y'all could see, the steering rack itself is pretty compact, I guess you'd say, for, you know, the front wheel drive setup. It needs to be compact. Sorry, I'm sick from my voice. But here, what we got is it makes it difficult to get it up in there and make it actually where it needs to be as far as the suspension geometry. So over here, we have a used, new to me, 350Z steering rack. These are a lot wider, as you can see how wide this one is compared to, I mean, it's kind of hard to see, but as a guesstimate, like, so you're already just past the pan on this side. If we go over here, we're just past the pan. So really, like, you know, you can see it a little bit better. Let me move some of this. You see roughly how wide it is, and the reason we're going to that is because, of course, it's wider and it's meant for having a rear-wheel drive engine, whereas the front-wheel drive one isn't. All right, and now the next part we're moving on to is the swing around. The whole intercooler, all this up here, we got it all mounted. I'm running the intercooler pipes to see what all I need to get and order more of, because I do right here. I need another 90 that's going to be able to come up, and we can connect for the throttle body into the intercooler pipe there. And I got it over here, and luckily we're roughly where turbo placement is right now. We're not certain that's where it's going to be, but the turbo is right there, super close. But yes, we got a Treadstone Performance intercooler. It's their TR 1245. It's a big boy intercooler, real nice. It'll supply everything we need. We got trans cooler over here, and be able to sneak the trans lines through this way for the trans. We got our oil cooler over here, be able to sneak our oil cooler lines over here, because we're also going to mount our oil filter just here. Over here, we're going to have it mounted where it'll be easily accessed in this area, and as long as it isn't, of course, in the way of the wheel. We have a catch can box that we just decided we're going to run down here. We'll have more room right here, and we're not using it, and that's where we can put the catch can. As far as everything goes, as you can see, what we're working with is we got the immersion over here. We should still have enough room for the fans. May have to wrap the headers or the hot pipe. We got it coming over here. But what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and go under and loop around up into here, because of just the amount of room we have. And with that, with, you know, running out of room, we're going to try and get it where it'll feed the turbo about right here. Of course, we can raise the turbo up some more. It's just turbo supporting itself right now. Nothing's supporting it. We can go over some more and up a little if we need to. It'll make more room. But The reason I'm choosing more like that right there is so easily with our wastegate, we could tap it in right there and be right next to our dump pipe. But that's pretty much how everything is. Like I said, I'm going to LS Fest East. Any of you guys gonna go and come watch it? I'm gonna potentially try and start this thing up there. If I get everything set out right, I'm gonna go back to stock injectors for now. Just run standard pump gas, not E85, because the injectors I have, these are Bosch 210s, and they're way too big for a stock setup. Even with the turbo at idle, those injectors cannot support what I need. So I'm gonna have to go to the stock ones for now. We still got some smaller things to tie up. Before then, I need to tap this into the water pump here. This is a coolant bypass for the heads. Well, what I did, I got, I don't remember if I mentioned this in the last video or not. I don't think I did, but I done the front bypass here where it has in the factory, not the gold piece, this braided piece under here. As you can see, it goes over there, comes over here. In the back, I have the same setup. Instead of blocking it off, I have the same setup, and I ran it up here and teed it off with the other one, and I'm gonna tap it right into the water pump. And a friend of mine has done that with his setup, so I'm gonna do that with the same style setup that he did. As far as everything else, I mean, this thing's setting in. This is where it's 100% supporting itself. Like, it's on its mounts, it's supporting itself. And as far as how it's gonna set, just the top piece here and the throttle body from about here to roughly here is gonna be the only things that poke out, thankfully. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to make a 350Z hood fit with a scoop from the HR. It's got a portion up here that has a pretty good ramp style to it, and I'm gonna try and use that. One of the main goals I did from this whole start is I wanted to keep this strut bar. That way it'll also help the structural integrity of the frame. Now, yeah, I know some people might say, oh, it's just a piece of metal, it can bend. That is true, but every little bit help counts. But that's the update. Here's show you from this angle. Intercooler, oil cooler, radiator. That's a radiator for Colorado. And this turbo here, it's a, I don't think I mentioned it, but I just got it when I got the intercooler. It is a random eBay one. Yeah, it's a China eBay one. It'll do for now. But it's a 7876 journal bearing. I mean, there's nothing really special about it other than it having a polished housing and a billet wheel. I mean, other than that, it is a like a 97 or 96 AR. It looks tiny, but really, it'll support everything because the exhaust housing, all that stuff, it's huge. The blades on the inside is huge. But, yep, this is it. If you guys want to come to LS Fest East, you'll be able to see it in person and potentially hear it if everything works as planned. But yeah, guys, this should be the last video, like I said. If not, I'll make another and update you guys. But as everything goes, follow me on Instagram or add me on Facebook, or if you're in any of the Altima pages, you'll see the update there. But as is, this thing is looking sick. And I want to really thank all the people who's really helped out with this, all the companies who supported the parts. Yeah, Holly, ICT, Treadstone, eBay. I mean, this stuff, the main purpose of this build is to say you could do it in your backyard, and this is a prime example. But yeah, guys, one more thing. I'll pause the video here, but I'm gonna add the bumper on. That way you guys could see what it looks like with the bumper on. All right, and this with bumper on. Got my 3-piece splitter, drift angle kit. It looks sick. The only issue we run into, because the intercooler is so big, right here, this tab and this tab. Currently this one's not, but this tab is brushing the fins of the intercooler, and we're just gonna lop those tabs right off. But yeah, that's it. It's almost completely done.